and welcome to another video. In today's lesson we will learn how to make this really awesome spiral ribbed scarf. I love the effect that this scarf gives. We will be using the front post stitch, and when we do that it creates a lovely ribbed effect. There is also a free written pattern located on my website. I will put the link that you need to that pattern in a description box. I am just showing you the end of the scarf. I'm trying to get it flat with one hand, but you can see the spiral effect that we have there. And there are no joining in the rows or the rounds that we do with this scarf. So that's what makes it awesome. It is striped and no joining ends. I hate joining ends. So that's why I've designed this awesome project. This scarf is rated as an intermediate project. I wouldn't recommend this for a complete beginner. We're using front post stitches, and when we get to the end of this pattern, so when we get to the end of the scarf, the end does get smaller and we are working in a smaller round. So I wouldn't recommend it for a complete newbie. If you're feeling adventurous and you know your front post stitches, then you're more than welcome to join in. But I do rate this as an intermediate project because of those things in the pattern. So let's get started on the lesson. For our supplies, we're going to need a yarn needle with a large eye, a pair of scissors, stitch marker. If you think you're going to put this down quite a lot, 2 stitch markers will be better than 1. But I've only got 1 just laying around, but 2 will be better. We're going to need some yarn, and today I'm just going to be using some Australian 8-ply yarn. I've got a green and I've also got a cream. So to start off with, you're going to grab your yarn. It doesn't matter which colour that you grab. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a magic ring. So make your magic ring however you do that. And you're going to also need a crochet hook to go with your yarn. I normally use a 3.5mm crochet hook when I make something with 8-ply yarn. It does recommend a 4mm or a size G crochet hook, but if you're using worsted weight, then I would recommend a 5.5 or an I size crochet hook. If you're using worsted weight yarn or 10-ply yarn, you won't need as many increased rounds to get a wide scarf because the yarn's thicker. So we're going to chain 1, and we're going to do a single crochet into the center of the ring. Then we're going to work a half double crochet. Then we're going to work 4 double crochets into the center. Just pulling my ring just so it's make it a little bit smaller. Then we're going to, so we'll have 6 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to grab our stitch marker, and these are just great so it doesn't come undone, because if you lose some stitches it can be confusing to find out where you're up to. So now you want to grab your other colour, and I'm just trying to find the end. Here we go. And what we're going to do is we're going to join our next colour into the ring. So going into the center, grab your next colour and pull that through. This will be a little bit fiddly because it's all loose at the moment. Leaving a tail at the back. Just to join our yarn in, we're just going to do a chain 1. And then just pull this short end to secure that in. And you want to make sure that when you join your yarn, it's next to the other colour. So we just need to scoot that around. What's happened there? What have I done? Okay, I need to pull that down. So we're going to chain 1. We're going to single crochet into the ring. As you can see, it's all a bit floppy, so it's hard to hang on to. Single crochet. We're going to work a half double crochet into the middle and 4 double crochet stitches. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So now I can actually pull the ring closed, and that will make it a lot easier to work with. So I'm just grabbing the green strand. So that makes it a lot easier to work with. And this scarf is made by using front post double crochets. So what we want to do, around the next 6 stitches, we're going to work 2 front post double crochets. Now the first 2 stitches of this round is a little bit tricky because they are a lot smaller, but once we get to our double crochets it'll be a lot easier. So we're going to, just for this stitch, we're going to go around the back and come out next to the single crochet and work a double crochet. Again, yarn over, go around the back of the stitch and work a double crochet. So now around the next stitch we're going to go next to it, come out the other side and work double crochet. I'm going to do that again around the same stitch. And around each of the double crochets, and now it gets easier because we're working around double crochet and it's a lot bigger to work with. A lot more space to get our crochet hook into. So we're going around each one. So this is classed as an increase when we work 2 stitches around the same stitch. And our last one can be not tricky, but it'll be a bit looser than the other stitches, so just be careful when you do that. So go around the last one, going to work 2 front post double crochet. Grab your stitch marker, we're going to pop it into our colour that we just worked, and that will stop that from pulling out. Now we're going to find our green, put that on our crochet hook. Around the next 6 stitches we're going to work 2 front post double crochet. So going next to the single crochet, work 2 stitches. And then around the half double crochet, going to work 2 stitches, and again, so that's, we've done 2 stitches because we've done the single and the half. So in the next 4 double crochets we're going to do 2 stitches. So we're going to pull up a loop. You don't have to pull up a really big loop like I just did, but as long as you put that stitch marker in there. So now we've just worked our green, so now we want to find our cream colour. And when you work around and then the green stops there, this is the easier part of the pattern because that actually is a guide to tell us when to stop. It's when we do the other colour that we have to actually count properly. So now it should be easier to work. So around the next stitch we're going to work front post double crochet, and into the next stitch, around the next stitch I should say, we're going to work 2 front post double crochet. And we're going to repeat this 6 times. So that was our first time. So again, do 1. Around the next stitch, do 2. So we've repeated it twice. That's 3 times. 4 times. That's the 5th time, and then we should have 2 stitches left to repeat it 6 times. Oops, just make sure he doesn't get in there. You know, because the stitch is a boy. So around that last one twice, and that's our 6 repeats. Again, swap your stitch marker over. So if you were going to put it down and walk away and you don't want the kids or the cat or the dog to pull out all your stitches, that's when you're going to put a stitch marker into both of the loops so they don't come undone. So we've just worked our cream, so now we're onto our other colour, which is for me a green colour. Where's the wool gone? There we go. And the first few rounds is a little bit, you've got to get used to holding it with the 2 strands of yarn. I've worked quite a few projects in the spiral, so I'm used to it. But these first few rounds are a bit, you know, all over the place, as you can tell. So now we want to do that same thing. We want to repeat the 1 front post stitch and then 2 front post stitches around the next, and we want to repeat that 6 times. So now we're going to go into the cream. So that's 1 front post and then 2 around the next one. And we're going to repeat this 6 times like we just did on the other side. So that's 2. That's the 3rd repeat. Oops. It's the 4th repeat. Fifth and 6th, and then when you finish the last repeat, you'll notice that your work is opposite the other colour. And if it's not, something's not right. See how they're opposite to each other? So I'm just going to make sure I've done that right. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So putting down our cream colour. Picking up the other colour. So decide how wide you want your project. It actually will gain a little bit of width after you stop increasing. So if you stop increasing now, the width of the scarf is going to be wider than that little piece there. So once you've made one, you'll know how much it gets bigger. But just bear that in mind. If you want it to be a narrow scarf, you could stop increasing here. And especially if you have worsted weight yarn, which is a lot thicker, which is equivalent to about a 10 ply or an Aran weight yarn, that's going to get bigger a lot quicker. So you might even only need that amount of increase rounds. But for this one, I'm making it nice and wide and thick. I do have the thinner weight yarn because it's 8 ply. And that's why I'm making it a bit wider. So what we want to do now is do the next round of increase. So at any time, if you've had enough with your increase rounds, you are going to work 1 front post double crochet in every stitch. There's no more increasing at all, so it's just 1 front post all the way around. And you will just keep going until you have the length of your scarf, and then I will show you how to do the decrease section at the other end. So if you need another increase round, what we do, we're going to repeat this 6 times as well. It's a front post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. It's 2 front post around the next one. We're going to repeat this 6 times around the next stitch, or the next 2 stitches, a front post double crochet into the next, around the next one is 2 stitches, and again we'll repeat that one. So it's 1 around the next one, 1 around the next one, 2, and repeat this till you have 6 repeats. And on this colour it's actually going to make us finish over here. So my 6 repeats makes me finish over on the last stitch over there. If it's not, you've got something not right. And you might have to just check to see what you've done. We're going to swap our stitch marker over. We're going to pick up the other colour. Ugh. Ends everywhere. So pick up the loop. And now we're going to repeat what we just did 6 times. So into the next stitch, going to work 1 front post double crochet around the next 2 stitches. Into the next one, we're going to work 2 front post double crochet. Into the next 2 stitches, we're going to work 1 front post double crochet, and then into the next one we're going to work 2. We're going to repeat this around until we have repeated it 6 times. Pause the video and I'll meet you when we have our 6 repeats. So I will show you how to do one more increase round, and that's what I have used in this project. Like I said, I'm using the thinner weight yarn. If you're using worsted weight, this next increase might make your scarf really wide, but I will show you what to do if you need another increase round. So what we need to do is do 1 front post stitch over the next 3 stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3, into the next, I keep saying into, but it's actually around because I'm not going into it. Around the next stitch, we're going to work 2 front post double crochets. And again, we're going to repeat this 6 times around. So it's 1 into the next 3 stitches, and 2 into the next one. Repeat this around 6 times, and that will bring you around to the end of this round here. Then pick up your other colour and again repeat what we just did around 6 times, and that will bring you to the other side of there. And after we have this done, so let's pretend that I have all my repeats done and I'm finished with my increasing. What you're going to do is just work 1 front post stitch around every stitch. So this is the easy part. And you are going to keep going until you have the length that you need for your scarf. You are able to stretch this scarf a little. I've actually used a crochet hook that's too small, but I will be telling you at the beginning of the video to use the right crochet hook. So you may notice that this crochet hook is a different colour to the one I'll be using in the next video clip, because I'm actually going to rework this. This is too tight. So see how that's quite stiff? We want it to be relaxed, and it'll drape nicely if it's relaxed. You don't want your stitches too tight. If this was for a hat, then that would look pretty cool. But it's not. It's for a scarf. So we want it to be nice and relaxed. So this is what it looks like on the other side, and this is actually the good side that we're going to use for our scarf, and this is going to be the inside. How cool is that, eh? All that work was going along on the back and you didn't even know. Okay, so in the next video clip you'll see the length of the scarf that I have, and I will show you how to decrease to close up the other end of the scarf. So here is the length of mine, and I have used 4 balls of 100 grams, which I'm pretty sure is 3.5 ounces. I've got 4 balls of 100 gram, and I have 2 of each colour. So I had 200 gram balls of the green and 200 grams, two 100 gram balls of the cream. So altogether I've got approximately 400 grams of yarn, and I've left enough so that I have enough to do the other end. So if you're just using up whatever's in the ball, then you can just do it that way, or you will need to leave enough on the end to make sure you've got enough to finish it off. So what we need to do now is actually turn our scarf inside out, because at the moment it's sitting here and it's got this is the right side, but we're actually making this pattern so we've got the ridges on the other side. Of course, if you want to have it like this, you're most welcome to leave it like that. But I will be using the other side, which has the ribs on it. So I'm just going to turn this the other way out, and I will see you in just a sec. So here is my scarf. It's inside out, and you will need to poke your ends into the other side. You won't need to sew them in properly because people won't see the inside of your project. And what we're going to do, making sure that's attached, what we're going to do is we're going to be working, it's going to feel quite odd, we're going to be working on the inside of the project rather than the outside of the project. But I've swapped my crochet hook for my 4.5mm or 7.5 size US, because that was just too tight, the one I was using before, and yeah, I wanted it to be loose. I didn't want it to be really stiff because that would have been gross for a scarf. So I'm putting my yarn back on, doesn't matter which colour you choose, pop that on. And what we want to do is, when we did our increasing, I increased this so it was 1 front post stitch into the next 3, and then it was a increase. So what we're going to do now is do the reverse. We're going to do 1 front post into the next 3, and then a decrease, so that's going into that stitch, pulling up a loop, pulling through 2, leave it on the crochet hook, going into the next stitch, pulling up a loop, pulling through 2, and then pulling through all the stitches. But you have to remember, I forgot to mention this just before, if you did a different amount of increase rounds to me, so let's say you did 1 front post into the next 2 stitches, then you did your increase, that's what you're going to start your decreasing on. So whatever you ended your increasing with, that's going to be the first round of your decreasing. So I had 1 stitch in the next 3 and then an increase, so that's why I've got 1 stitch in the next 3, then a decrease. So again, around the next 3 stitches, work a front post stitch, or whatever amount you need to do. And then over the next 2 stitches, we're going to work a decrease. So going in, pull up a loop, pull through 2, leave those on your crochet hook, yarn over, around the next stitch, pull up a loop, pull through 2, and then pull through all 3. I'm going to repeat this around until we get to the next part of our yarn, where the other, that's making absolutely no sense. This bit, we're going to get it round to where we have finished off the other colour. Once we get to our other colour, we're going to pick it up and we're going to repeat that again. So you're going to just repeat what you just did. So I need to do into the next 3 and then a decrease. And then repeat that around. So I swapped my yarns over and I'm now up to the next round of decrease, and last time I had 3 stitches and then a decrease, and now I want to do 2. So around the next 2 stitches I'm going to work front post, then I'm going to work my decrease, but where we have a decrease here, that's counted as 1 stitch now because we've decreased it. So we need to go around those 2 stitches, and I'll show you what I mean. You're going to go, the first part of a decrease is just around the double crochet there, but the next one is around both of those stitches. Well, technically that's just 1 stitch now, but you do have to go around the both stitches there, and then work our decrease. So I need to do 1 front post in the next 2, and again this one here is a decrease, so it's the first part of the decrease goes around the double crochet, and the second part of the decrease goes around both. And like I said, it is actually 1 stitch, because see how when I put that through it went around to the other side. But we're just working our decrease around there. Repeat this around and then pick up your other colour and repeat that around as well. So now I want to work 1 front post double crochet and then my decrease. So the opening is getting smaller, which is what we want. So we want 1 front post and 1 front post decrease. I'm going to repeat this around and then also for the other colour. So if you're like me, the hole is getting smaller and smaller. And what we need to do now, because we just did one between our decrease, now we are going to do a decrease on each stitch around. So going in and then working your decrease. And again into the next one. We're going to repeat this 6 times like we've been doing, and then we're going to repeat it for the other colour. Now we have 12 stitches left. What we want to do is into the next 4, and let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we've got 6 stitches left. So I was just double checking that. Into the next 4, we're going to do a front post stitch. So 1, we're going around the 2 stitches that we got there. 2, 3, and 4. Into the next stitch we're going to do a front post half double crochet, and this is where it's going to be tricky. This is the end of our project, so it's only these last 2 stitches. So grabbing that, it's going to be a half double crochet, and then around that last one, which will prove to be our most difficult stitch of the whole project, we're going to work a single crochet, front post single crochet. I'm just grabbing the cream yarn at the back and just pulling it tight so it makes that stitch stand out more. Ooh. Like I said, hardest one of the project. I'm going to work a single crochet. Excuse me. Then we can put that in there and hope that doesn't come undone, because then we'd have to do it again. We're going to repeat the same for the other colour, so I'm going to see if I can show you without making a complete mess. And my yarn is all twisted and it's all going on. So you might have to untwist your balls to make it work. There we go. Okay, so this is where it's going to get even harder. Woo! We can do it though. We can. So into the next 4 stitches we're going to work a front post double crochet, but we're going around the 2 stitches there, because remember how they just count as 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's half double crochet around the next, so that's front post, half double crochet, and then single crochet around the other one. And what we're doing is we're just imitating what we did when we very first started this project. So we're going to cut off our yarn, and we want to leave a bit longer than what we normally leave when we cut off, because we need to do some sewing here. Only a little bit, but so I've got that big loop. I'm going to cut that. So to finish it off, grab the end of the yarn and put it through the loop and just pull, and that will finish off the stitch. We are finished with our stitch marker. Thank you, stitch marker. You have been my best friend in this project. We can do that up. Grabbing our yarn needle, so let's just grab all our bits out the way. So it's grabbing our yarn needle, and we are going to make this hole disappear, because we don't want a big hole in the end of our project, do we? So we're going to thread back through the green stitches. We're just going to weave our yarn in and out of the green stitches. And pull closed, and we can tie that off, so we can go through the stitch again. Before you pull the loop closed, put your needle through the loop and then just pull that tight. Then you can put your yarn or your yarn needle into the center. Oops. And I'm actually pushing it down inside the scarf. If you pop out the side somewhere, but then pull that up, it should make that disappear. Okay, I've got a bit too much yarn, so I can snip that off. There we go, it's finished, gone. Grabbing your cream. And I think this project would look so cute with pom-poms sewn on the end. But I suck at making pom-poms, so I won't be showing you how to do it. But there are lots and lots of videos on YouTube. So again, we're just weaving in and out of our cream stitches. And then we're just going to pull that, I'm going to pull it tight. We just want to make sure there's no hole in the middle there, so what I'm going to do, just on this side, because the other end's okay, there won't be a hole, I'm just going to stitch that closed. If you do it just on the edge of the green, because this is our green spiral here, just on the edge of the green, it won't show up as much. So that hole's disappeared now, and I am so excited that worked. I did not think this project was going to work when I got to the end. Yeah, I had that moment of, no, I've done all this work and it's not going to work. Guess what? We're awesome, so we made it work. And then we're just going to sew in at ends, so I can just pop that again through the middle. I'm just going to zoom out so you can see what I'm doing. I've actually got the needle inside the tube and I'm threading, I'm just pushing it down. I'm not going through the other side of the work. I'm just trying to feel where it is. Grab it out. Pull through. Oops. So I've pulled it through. You can see it's sticking out there. If we grab the top of the scarf and pull, it's gone. Don't even know where it was. It's gone anyway. And that is the end of our scarf. This looks so awesome. Sorry, I'm just excited about this project. This is going to look so cool with your matching hat. And you will need to sew in the other ends, but I'm going to do that off camera because you literally just poke them in through the hole like we did with the one up there. Please share your creations on my Facebook page. I'd love to see what you have been up to. I love to see the combinations that you've used, the colours you've used, the different yarn that you've used as well. Please subscribe, as there are always video tutorials coming out. There are video tutorials twice a week, once on a Wednesday, which is a really quick project for Whip It Up Wednesday, and then once on a Friday, which will be the tutorial that you're watching now. The longer tutorials are on a Friday. That is so awesome. That's really, really cool. Love the ribbed effect. Yeah, so subscribe to the newsletter. It's located on my website. I will put the link in the description box. Lots and lots of crochet goodness in that newsletter. And yeah, you'll never miss one once you subscribe, because it gets delivered direct to your inbox in your emails. So again, thank you for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're having a great week, and until next time, happy crochet.